So we'll just check and make sure that everything is doing its thing. Hoping that, let's see. There we go. All right, so the systems are looking good. Today's going to be an interesting one, at least for about a minute or so of the show, but whatever. I'm torn between because a lot of times people just don't show up. So I think it's probably more, let's just jump into it. So we have a special guest on the show today. He's a musician. He's a prolific artist, I guess. Ladies and gentlemen, this individual is known for his raps all around Sacramento and the East Bay area. And I've heard that he's been really killing the beats as far south as Dana Point. Everyone put your hands together for the East Area Rappist. I'm going to have him call in now, and we'll see if everything's checking out. Let's see. Yeah, we got him already here. Hold on. Let's try something. What's going on here? Yeah! I don't know what's going on with this thing. Hold on. What the fuck are they doing?
RAPPIST on the mic. Penis really small, so I don't get laid. Burglary's not for profit, so I don't get paid. Prowling on the street without a 6'4". Blew her face off with a 44. Thought I'd get away with it, so I left my DNA. Science done advanced, my mugshot looks gay. Ventura can't think, so my chances look good. Manicure my lawn in a Sacramento hood. My cousins went to JED match, time's running out. No time to brawl around, no time to...
Okay, so I guess we've lost him. I'm now getting unconfirmed reports that that the East Area Rappist has been captured by Sacramento police. So I guess that that's going to cut the performance short from our guest. Wow. So I guess he's soon we're going to know his identity. That's cool. What have we missed? I mean, I want to show you guys the new board. This is a work in progress, okay? So don't lose your stuff here. If I can find a way to fit in my office, that would be cool. And maybe a way to just kind of move out of the way of my own equipment. So we have NUKE HOAX live now on there. And then we also have, this is the composite sketch that I made of the Presidio Heights offender, so the Zodiac Killer. And then this is, of course, Cooperite, so that's on there. And then we have Not the Zodiac Free Don Chaney. So. Actually took a lot of energy out of me to make that little video. You guys want to see that one again? Let's put it on there again, just because it was so much fun. And part of the thing is, actually, I was wondering how I was going to do that without laughing when the raid happened. And then my headphones got unplugged. So I was like, well, there we go. Now I can't hear it, so it's not as funny. But you guys heard it. So let's, just in case anyone missed it, let's watch the performance of the East Area Rappist one more time. And here we go. I don't know why it keeps doing that, though.
East Area Rappist
on the mic.
Penis really small, so I don't get laid. Burglary's not for profit, so I don't get paid. Prowling on the street without a 6'4". Blew her face off with a 44. Thought I'd get away with it, so I left my DNA. Science done advanced, my mugshot looks gay. Ventura can't think, so my chances look good. Manicure my lawn in a Sacramento hood. My cousins went to JED match, time's running out. No time to brawl around, no time to...
I don't know if you guys could hear that, but it says, I have a roast in the oven. I have a roast in the oven. Don't tase me, bro. What is this? Okay. So I don't know what's been going on, guys. Anything? I've been kind of screwing around on my live streams lately. But that's fine. I think we really kind of put out enough information. Oh, let me show you. Fuck. It's so far away, though. You know, I'm just going to wait until it ends up on the board. I did a sketch of Don Chaney. So that'll be cool to put up there. Oh, and I've been handing out these flyers or these pamphlets I told you guys about. Actually, I read them for you, so we're good. So there's not very much updates going on, actually. I'm watching a lot of FBI True. Oh, they had an episode. Let's talk this a little bit because, you know, my wife and I have been watching FBI True, and they had an episode on Irons. And so, of course, we started watching that, and I immediately start going, that's not correct. And my wife's like, oh no, here we go. She said that about it because she knows that I'm going to like sit there and correct them wherever they're wrong. There were a couple things I thought were kind of ridiculous on there. Okay, so let's talk about this. First thing was they had an agent of the behavioral analysis unit of the FBI go on there and say that she thought that the victim selection was about the male targets. No. No. The males. Okay, first of all, if that's the case, then you have to be able to explain why Irons was targeting single women all the way to the end of the series. So literally from the botched abduction attempt of Elizabeth Snelling. What's her name now? Elizabeth Knupp or something? I don't know. I can't remember her new name. But anyway, her maiden name was Snelling. And, you know, single female attempted abduction. Of course, there were other people in the house, including Claude Snelling, who was shot and killed that night. But for all intents and purposes, D'Angelo attempted to kidnap one female from the house, okay? And then you have the EAR series starts, and he's targeting single females frequently as Irons, and it isn't until supposedly, okay? This is almost certainly overwhelmingly true, but it's become such case lore at this point that I really like to be cautious about just what I'm declaring, and especially in Irons, because it's really touchy. Here's why. So it's a, quote, solved case, right? But I don't think it's a solved case in the sense that we don't know very much. And I strongly suspect that there are probably other crimes of Joseph D'Angelo where the offender in those crimes has never been identified. And so in that sense, that's one way that this is still an unsolved case. And then two, in the biggest way, and the way that I've really hit and come at hard over the last couple of years or whatever it's been, is that we don't actually know everything in this case. We don't know a lot of information about Irons and about those crimes. You know, it wasn't even until 2025 that your friendly neighborhood NUKE HOAX came along and gave you guys a believable narrative as to what the hell happened at Greg Sanchez and Sherry Domingo's house. Before that, I think the narrative was very much flawed, just not accurate, and, you know, our understanding of the case has been suffering from lore. And so one of those lore things is that D'Angelo only began attacking couples after the newspapers supposedly said, I guess the newspaper did say, but the newspaper said that he never attacks when there's a male present. And so then every attack after that, or most attacks after that, he's targeting houses where there's a couple in the home. But I'm careful about even jumping on that bandwagon, you know, and a lot of people, oh, how dare you, that we know that to be a fact. It's like, no, actually you don't, because you don't actually know for sure that he was never attacking couples before that. I mean, he went into Beth Snelling's house when the entire family was home. Everybody was there. The entire Snelling family was in that fucking house when he went in there. So I think that, like, this notion that, like, we know automatically, like, anyway, so you guys know how I feel about all that, just like declarations and true crime. Well, another example or another aspect and element of that is like saying that the victim selection was primarily about the male. No, it wasn't. No. Because if that's true, then you have to account for why he attacked Manuela Bethune. Why did he attack Janelle Cruz? You know? So these BAU people, it's just like, can you not talk like that? Especially to just, like, it's so easily disprovable, you know? Like, the victim selection's about the man. You think he won? No. Anyway, so you have to get around the fact that Bethune and Cruz were both single females alone in the home when they were attacked, killed. So, and then also you had Larry Poole was on that show. And Larry Poole said, oh my God, this is so insane, guys. This is so insane. So he says, D'Angelo was an Exeter police officer until 1976. He resigns from Exeter and then moves to Sacramento for the attacks. And it's like, hold on, hold the phone. Two problems there. The first one is that they left out the fact that he didn't just move to Sacramento. He went to Auburn PD. So he went from being a cop in Exeter to being a cop in Auburn. And then during the time that he was, PD over there in Sacramento, he was attacking as the East Area rapist in the East Area of Sacramento. The whole time was a cop. And, of course, Larry Poole conveniently leaves that part out. He just says, he moves to Sacramento. Nothing more to say about the law enforcement angle. It's like, are you kidding me? And then, to really drive the point home, they don't even tell us that he was also the Visalia ransacker during that Exeter PD period. So they're really, really, really trying as hard as they can to just dance around the fact that this offender was a police officer during almost all of his crimes. Now, of course, this ONS, the original Night Stalker, he wasn't a police officer. But, it's bad enough. The entire Visalia Ransacker, or almost the entire Visalia Ransacker series, and then the entire East Area Rapist series, he was a cop. It's actually being fired from being a police officer that we believe to have been the stressor event, which causes his transmutation into the original Night Stalker. And so it's like, all these years later, you guys are still trying to dance around the fact that a cop killed people. Can we just accept it and move on? Now, obviously, they've admitted it. It's not like they're trying to hide it. But they have a real pride problem with just coming forward and being like, look, this guy was a cop the whole time. They go, how dare you, not as the original Night Stalker. Yeah, but, okay, we get it. There's only, fucking 4 more offenses after that. The vast majority of these Iran's crimes were committed by an active duty police officer, guys. The vast majority of these crimes. So, FBI true, it's like, you guys can just own it. It's fine. We're not tripping out. You guys all saw him get arrested on the stream earlier. Here, trying to do a rap. What he doesn't know is that I set him up. Put his fingerprints and his DNA. So, who's viewing right now? Can you type in the chat if you're here? Did you see the beginning of the stream with the rap part? That was my favorite part. I'm hoping it's not offensive, because I kind of like the rap is really self-deprecating. It's like talking about his penis size and his failure to profit from his murders or from his break-ins, his stupidity, and then he gets raided. He says, "Don't tase me, bro." So that's, I'm hoping that that's not seen as making light of anything. That's what we do here. So I don't know what else is new, but the funny thing is, you do a stream to showcase a 1-minute event, and then you're like, now what? So If the chat has some questions, I don't want to like pollute. I don't want this to get lost in the mix because that was that was fun to make. I just want to have it on there. So, if the chat has any questions, I'll give them like a couple more minutes. If anyone in the chat wants to just help start a conversation here, we can do that. But if we don't, then I'm just gonna drop the stream and then I'm gonna go watch FBI True. So, look at that picture of Drew Beeson. Isn't that cool? Let's put the Earth on top of Drew Beeson, though, like that. That's better. Look at Drew Beeson go. Everybody's at CooperCon right now. They're all watching CooperCon. I almost did the East Area Rap part live, but there were some aspects of it that made it a lot easier to pre-record it. Like, of course, the police raid sounds. That would have been hard to pull off live, because you had to time it perfectly and all that stuff. And then, yeah, it's just too many moving parts in this. Like, let's watch it together. It's so fun. I love this video. Let's see if we can start it. East Area Rappist.
East Area Rappist on the mic. Penis really small, so I don't get laid. Burglary's not for profit, so I don't get paid. Prowling on the street without a 6'4". Blew your face off with a 44. Thought I'd get away with it, so I left my DNA. Science done advanced, my mugshot looks gay. Ventura can't think, so my chances look good. Manicure my lawn in a Sacramento hood. My cousins went to jig match, time's running out. No time to prowl around, no time to...
Alright, so that's the end of that. So that gig's been in the works for a little bit. I've thought about that bit for a while. And I think the raid really makes it. You know what it was inspired by, actually? Let's see if I can find this for you guys. Let's see if we can find it. Barrett Brown. Anyone remember the Barrett Brown raid? Probably not, right? I'm from a really weird part of the internet, guys. Barrett Brown FBI raid. Is he alive still, Barrett Brown? Let's check it out. Why FBI agent Robert Smith has like 10 seconds to give me my shit back, he says.
No, they're not.
Okay, so yeah, I do have it right here. Let's look at one more thing here. Is he still alive, Barrett Brown? Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if he's dead, man. He was a heroin addict, so I wouldn't be surprised. Would not be surprised. Yeah, he's alive. Oh, he's an associate of Anonymous. Anonymous is not a group. Jesus. He's an American anarchist. Oh my god. He is not a hacktivist. Barrett Brown has never hacked his way out of a fucking paper bag, man. That's like calling me a hacktivist. And I've even done SQL injections. Isn't that stupid? Let's see what he says. His role alongside Anonymous. Oh, jeez. I love the way that they act like Anonymous is like a gang. Anonymous is like whatever you want it to be. Jeez. Have you guys seen this? I'm going to show you what I was inspired by for the East Area Rap thing. Here we go. This was famous back in the day right here. This was huge.
Talked about shit.
Barrett doesn't think that.
Okay.
Oh, Assert MacFags is dead now, by the way. The one on the bottom right, she died. One over there on the right. Who's that?
She won't hit. She won't hit. Hey,
Is that
can you
my
tell me if
buddy?
you're a gift or not?
Oh, no, never mind. And non-forecast. I remember
She
him.
said shit. I swear to God,
That's
she
so
said
funny.
shit. It was crazy. And the picture
I remember all these
the same
people.
person.
Yeah, no, but
I hung out with these people.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a real person.
It's been a long time,
What,
man.
really, really?
13 years.
It's a cute gift.
It's a different internet back then.
It's also possible to stay here with the fucking delay that affects everything.
here, she can talk now.
Here we go.
Yes.
Here it comes.
It's not a gift.
That you were using during Adrian was a gift, though,
Here it
right?
comes.
It's the same person. Sweetheart, she doesn't have a gift for herself.
No? Oh my god. You
Look, you're pretty.
don't have to really think I'm a gift. Quit me! You don't have a gift of yourself?
You talk to me. Gifts don't talk.
Here it comes.
No, that's a gift.
Bear with me.
You're a ramen stage, Tom Ryan. Fuck up.
The one, no, not this one. The one, oh, shit.
She doesn't have a gift. That was her the whole time. You just thought it was a loop. You just misinterpreted it, okay?
That's what I was asking
She
her.
doesn't have a gift for herself that she puts up of herself.
Why not?
Why not? I don't know. Do you do that? Do you have a gift of yourself?
People do.
Duh.
I thought the one that was going to. It's like super passionate about
Spyco had a gift of him wanking. Oh, this- Bear just got raided by the FBI.
Oh, is Barrett getting fucking raided by the FBI? Holy shit! Oh!
I'm here today.
Yeah.
What is it that?
It's crazy, wasn't it?
What is it that makes
That was
you
a
want
different
to do
era,
this?
man.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Like, bullshit.
No. So anyway, that was the time that Barrett got raided by the FBI.
You just want to have to say.
Why is the audio? Oh, it's coming on my end. So that was that time that Barrett got raided by the FBI on the stream, and that's where the East Area RAPPIST raid comes from. Let's see. Yeah, but here's the thing, Zap. You're gonna be able to find information for me, and it's actually not where I live anymore. So it's just gonna be weird, whatever. For that. I mean, yeah, those were the days, but like it was fun when we were kids, you know. Like it's just corny now. It's like, what the fuck was the purpose of all that again? What changed? Nothing, right? Oh yeah, it got worse, didn't it? That's the funny thing. We were in Anonymous, and we were all like trying to protest government overreach, and we're like, yes, we are making a difference. We are Anonymous, and the situation is worse now than it's ever been before. Yeah. Like, way worse. So what did Anonymous do? Absolutely nothing. You could even argue that Anonymous made things worse directly. Because the FBI went batshit from Anonymous. Like, they were mad at us. All of us got raided. Don't let anybody tell you that they were a known person in Anonymous back in the day and they haven't been visited by the government. If they are, they fucking are lying to you because they have been visited. Or they weren't part of it. Everybody got hit by the FBI. Even my friend Warfist Prime, who never did anything illegal, got visited by the FBI. You know. He didn't do anything. He showed me how to use like Havij. Don Chaney's my hero. Me too. I like Don Chaney. Free Don Chaney. You know, like Anonymous just made things worse. It really did. That's why so much of it, I think, was really like we got COINTELPRO'd like way early, like in the beginning, before anti-sec. People are like, yeah, anti-sec marks the period when the FBI infiltrated Anonymous. It's like FBI probably created Anonymous. What was the goal? Was to shut down... Okay, now we have the benefit of hindsight, so we can look at the grand scheme of things. We didn't understand what they were planning back then. So remember how the whole thing was that PayPal was going to be suspending... What's up, Murder Inc.? Remember how the whole thing was that PayPal was going to be suspending donations to WikiLeaks, and so Anonymous all got crazy with their low orbit ion cannons, the LOIC stuff and the HOIC stuff, and they started, doing distributed denial of service attacks against like major credit card platforms. Yeah, whatever's up. And now, okay, and that was like pro Bitcoin ideology, you know. It was like really it just, all it did was it made people more interested in cryptocurrency, which has now been totally hijacked by the federal government, which I'm sure they've been planning for a long time. Totally traceable. They're fucking lying to you if they say it's... Dude, I was using Bitcoin, and they could trace the blockchain. Okay, they just didn't, because I was a relatively small-time drug dealer with Bitcoin. You know, in the grand scheme of things, like obviously I was operating with quantities of drugs that nobody else in my town had ever seen before, but it's not because I'm so, like, Scarface. It's just because that's the nature of the internet, and it wasn't even that much in the grand scheme of things. Like, I had a connection, Opiate Connect at that time. The guy would press 35,000 bars in, like, a couple days. I've never even seen 35,000 bars in my life. And for him, it was, like, another day in the office. And, like, Bitcoin is totally not untraceable, and it's been completely hijacked by the feds now. And so that whole ideology, and then the whole WikiLeaks thing was like, okay, let's start nuking the payment processing systems in the United States. And then all that does is demonstrate that Anonymous is a clear and present economic threat to the United States financial system. And then that allows the FBI to come in with crazy laws and sentencing. Did you have a cool... Yes. Yes, I did. I had a couple of them. The Okapi was one of them. Yeah. But nobody else did it. I was like we all had nicknames for each other, pretty much. I used to... I don't want to glorify this shit, but I used to go by the Alprazolam King and stuff like that with people. Not Alprazolam King, because that's another guy online. But in my town, I was the Alprazolam King and the Okapi and all this other stuff. Ian Curtis, stuff like that. But we all had nicknames, but everybody knows your real name too, you know? So they would just call me my real name. Another thing is I would have burner phones, and I thought I was really cool. I was like, yeah, I would only get flip, because remember on Breaking Bad when they snapped the flip phones in half? So I would only get flip phones because I wanted to snap them in half when I would either get paranoid or when the service would run out. So it was either, there were 2 times I'd snap flip phones, and I've snapped so many flip phones. It was either when the monthly bill was due, and I would just buy a new line and a new number, and so I'd switch all the time, or when I would get paranoid on meth. And then I'd be like, oh my god, the fucking cops, and I would snap the phone in half. Because I thought it was cool. I was like, oh yeah, they did that on Breaking Bad. So, but the thing is, my burner phone, everybody would know my burner phone, and they would know my real phone. And so my whole, like, I'm going to get another phone, and one's going to be for the load, and one's going to be for real life. And then, like, both of them would blow up, and everyone would just be like, hey, can I get some Xanax? And so it was like, this is pointless. And I just stopped getting burner phones. You know, probably like after the first year and a half of my drug dealing career was when I just stopped getting burner phones. Yeah, Skylar caught Walter because he had 2 phones. Yeah, for sure. It's totally sketchy. And it doesn't work either. But I thought it was cool. Dude, okay, Zap, most of the shit that I did as a drug dealer that seems elite on television was because I thought it was cool. Vast majority of stuff. You know. Like laundering Bitcoin. Like I've never... I would like tumble my Bitcoin around like it was necessary. Like anyone was tracking it. They were just waiting for me to get so... Because I would get away with shit all the time. Like it's super easy to get away with crime in real life, guys. Especially drug dealing. It's pretty easy. But when eventually you start getting away with enough stuff that you just start being brazen and careless, and then you get caught. So I've only got caught for like one major thing I ever did. And then everything else was just forgotten to history, and it's now past statute of limitations, so we can talk freely about it. But yeah, it was like, because I saw this shit on TV, I thought it was cool. And then everyone else was like, oh my god, you can't do that. And I was like, weren't you the same people that thought it was cool when you saw it on Breaking Bad? So like, I really got to see the hypocrisy of American society. Because the cops were not happy when they found my meth lab. And I was like, I bet you watch Breaking Bad and you think it's awesome. And they were like, no, we're going to take rifles to your house in the middle of the night. It's like, jeez. The guy IRL saw how they dispose of bodies in Breaking Bad, and yeah. Oh my god. Dude. Yeah, Breaking Bad is so ridiculous. I can tell you firsthand, because I've been in the drug world, I've affiliated with the cartels, I've fucking cooked meth, like all that stuff. Breaking Bad is so Hollywood. It's so unrealistic, it's ridiculous. I love the way that people are like, yeah, Breaking Bad is a very accurate depiction of the criminal. No, it's not. Not even close. Not even remotely close to real life. It's so fake. It's the most Hollywood thing in the whole world. Dude, at the end, he has like a machine gun on it. No. Come on. So ridiculous. Dude, maybe they do that shit in Mexico, like disposing of bodies in barrels. I don't even see the point, though. Like, look, if you wanted someone dead, all right, you could take them out to the... There's two kind of ways to go about... Okay, a couple ways to go about this. One is to not touch the body at all. Come on, Nuke, that one composite looks like you. That's funny. One is you don't touch the body at all. Because every time you touch the body, you're leaving forensic evidence. So it's better to just come up with a revolver so you don't leave brass behind. Because they have a thing called brass match. I'm not trying to tell people how to get away with murders. I'm just saying how ridiculous Breaking Bad is. And just, you know, you can pay a crackhead to go do it, and then you can kill the crackhead afterward. And you can kill him with, like, fentanyl, so it looks like he overdosed. And you have him just shoot the guy and then run away. That's one way. Or they can take him out to the desert and dig a big hole just way out, like by the salt flats of Baker. And they don't bring... Like, dude, you don't need a barrel and... No. It's so ridiculous. You're so crazy, Zap. Yeah, I mean, I could tell you how to get away with all kinds of fucking insane crime. But, you know, at a certain point, it's like, are we criticizing Breaking Bad or is this crime school? Because you shouldn't do any of it. You're going to get caught. Like, when I was in the drug world, every single person was like, you know you're going to get caught, right? And I was like, I don't care. I knew I was going to get caught. It's super... Eventually, you just get caught. You can run on for a long time, but sooner or later, God's going to cut you down. I've heard someone say that. You can run on for a pretty long while, you know. And nobody will really care. They don't even care. They care about fentanyl. Like, if you're selling fentanyl, you're fucked. But, like, other stuff, no one cares. For the most part. And it's like, dude, I like to, like, anyone, Zap, what else is from Breaking Bad? Because Breaking Bad's so insane ridiculous. It's Hollywood, though. It's not meant to be fucking, you know, it's just ridiculous. I love the concept that his brother-in-law is in the DEA and he, like, can't figure out that Walter is Heisenberg. It's like, are you fucking kidding? That's so fake. They know who sells drugs. Oh, he's just so undetectable. Just no one knows who the mysterious Heisenberg is. We have a composite sketch of him. Like, what? Yeah, fucking right. Okay, from the time, like, when I was a drug dealer. Really, I was like an importer and a wholesaler, but whatever. Still, I'd done drug deals. From the time that I started that, what was this? I remember when they passed around the donation jar and Walter's sketches in the room. Oh, I need to watch that again. That's funny. Wow. I haven't seen that show in so long. I think I can handle it. I think it, because I tried watching some of it, like, okay. I tried watching the episode 4 Days Out, which was historically like one of my favorite episodes. It's where Walter and Jesse go out into the middle of the desert and they just cook meth for 4 days. I was watching that and I was like, this is really hard to watch. This is like, because there's aspects of it that are kind of realistic. Like, not really, you know, but the notion of like, we're going to go out to the desert and cook meth for 4 days, that to me seemed like really fun. So I couldn't watch. Because I've been in situations similar to that. Where it was like, okay, we have 4 days to do this, and that. And then, so it was very difficult to see that. And I remember coming away from that like, I can't watch that show anymore. So that was the last time. That's been a couple years. But from the time that I like really started kind of getting big for my britches to the time I was caught was only 7 months. It was about, I had like a good... Yeah, like a good 7 month run from like November, December 2016 until my arrest in June of 2017. That was when they really came and steered myself straight. But yeah, that show's kind of hard to watch because that was kind of one of my original inspirations. Was I watched Breaking Bad? I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and I like science and I like crime, so I put them together and I was like, all right, boom. Ain't no Earons. Yeah, I know, isn't that crazy? But here's the other part of that. Like with Earons, he's operating by himself. You know, it's just one. Build a robot. Build a robot and have it sell drugs for you. Can you get arrested for that? Wouldn't that be funny if you like had a robot with an encrypted radio signal and it would go and sell drugs for you, and it had like a vending machine, like you would drive it down Skid Row and it has a fucking like a credit card reader or like a bill insert. People put the bills in and then a little lockbox thing opens up and the drugs dispense. And then the robot like goes way out in the middle of nowhere. And then, like, it's encrypted, so they can't tell where the communication's coming from, of course. And then you park the robot, and it, like, locks itself down and turns off and goes to sleep. And then you come back, like, a month later, and you get the money out of the robot. That would be cool. I guess that's illegal, huh? To remotely sell drugs with a robot. They might have some objections to that. I don't know. We also had this thing, like, because my co-conspirator was crazy and really funny. And he was such a loose cannon. And he was like, this was before, I think this is before Amazon started drone deliveries. My co-conspirator was so prophetic and so smart. He was like, let's do drone deliveries of K-Packs. And people will order, and then we'll just have it come and drop it off on a drone. And he was joking. He didn't really want to do that, but we kind of like we played around with that idea. And then Amazon, like a couple months later, was like, we're going to do drone deliveries. And we're like, where did you get that idea? So, but he was so funny. That guy was great. It's just really kind of a drag that the nature of our friendship was so bad that it ruined. They kind of do that with prisons. Yeah, they do that with prisons, actually. They have drones come and drop them off. You know, the nature where I'm from, there's a drug called Trank. Yeah, I've heard of that. It's so stupid. Well, because the darknet markets were actually very good for drug users. That's the beauty. The darknet market was actually the best thing that ever happened to the illegal drug trade, and they fucked it all up. Because at least it made it safe to buy and sell drugs. It made it as safe as possible, you know. I know that sounds insane. Like, yeah, selling meth is safe again. Hooray. But nobody got robbed or robbed. Like I've been robbed before. Oh, should I tell you guys a story about how I got robbed one time and I tricked the guy that had the gun? It was so funny. Their own personal maggots never thought I would type a sentence like that. Oh yeah, I watched it. I saw that too. It's called Pluribus. I think it has new episodes, doesn't it? Are there more than 2 episodes up now? In Kensington, the open-air drug market, I've seen people with rotting arms where they shoot up and they have maggots on their arms. Jesus. Okay, so it's story time's app. All right, so... Oh, geez. All right. Let me make sure. Yeah, mathematically, we're good. Okay, so this was like late 2018, I think. Yeah, late 2018. So I got arrested in 2017 and pretty much stopped selling drugs after that because that was really scary. But I would still, it's been a long road to be recovering from my criminal thinking. So for a long time after that, I would deal with these cravings of like, I'm going to start selling drugs again. I'm going to become a blah, blah, blah all over again. And I would try, but it would never work out. Well, I was in this sober living and we opened a UPS box across the street from the sober living and we were ordering Xanax from Dream Market to that box. So I don't want to glorify this stuff, but whatever. I'll tell you the story. So we went to the Barcelona Apartments in Aliso Viejo, California. My friend Andrew Foster drove me to this deal. And this guy was buying like a couple Xanax bars, but I was, you know, how I am, and I think I can do whatever I want. So I had like the entire supply of Xanax in my pocket. Got to the deal, and then the guy pulled what I think is a gun. It probably wasn't even a real gun, but anyway, so I did the fucking deal with him, and he's like, he pulls this out, and he like racks the firearm, and he's like, "Give me everything, homie." There's this fucking dorky guy, this total tweaker is really funny. I knew him from like high school. And then he's like, "Give me," and I looked at him dead in the eyes, and I was like, "Do you think that I'm so fucking stupid that I'm gonna bring the entire supply to the drug deal?" And he's like, "Run your pockets, homie, run your fucking pockets." I was like, "Dude, let me explain something to you. I didn't run my pocket. He must have been high, because this worked." He's like, "Run your pockets, homie." And I told him, we're in a neighborhood in the evening time. It's not late at night, but it's probably like 8 or 9 p.m. or something. And he's like, "Run your pockets." And I said, "I'm not that fucking dumb that I'm going to bring the supply of Xanax with me. If you want to get the supply, we need to go see my driver." And that was Andrew Foster. And he's like, "Where is he?" And I said, "He's parked over by the fucking," because it's a gated neighborhood. I was like, "He's parked over by the front gate. Come on, let's go." So he's walking me through Barcelona apartments with this pistol or whatever the fuck. Could have been a BB gun. I'm not really sure. And I had the whole in my pocket. And I had my hand. I don't remember. He's like exactly. I mean, he just didn't check. Like, he was so fucking barred out. So I had all the bars in my pocket. And I said, "Yeah, his car's. Come on, we got to go to the car." I opened the door, got into the seat, and I looked at Andrew and I said, "Fucking drive." And just, and we peeled out of there. And I called him on the phone, and I said, "You dumb motherfucker, I had everything in my pocket. You're so fucking stupid." I called him, I was yelling at him. But then for like a while after that, I would see him in the drug world, and we would laugh about it. And he would always say, like, "Where's it at, homie?" And he was just joking, you know? But that's the way of the game. Like people get robbed, and like, it's funny. It's like I knew that guy already for years. We had a history because when we were young, we were like little, probably 16, 17 years old. And yeah, I mean, isn't it cool, or is it just, you're the one that said story time. I don't like doing this bit. Sometimes it's fun. Like K-Pack Pioneers, telling the K-Pack Pioneers story really helped me process it to the point where it was like, okay, we can never think about it again almost. And then we got in the... Okay, so when I was like 16 or 17, the same guy, his name was Khaled, he would sell stolen bottles of alcohol from Walmart. And he would sell like a bottle of Smirnoff for $10 or whatever. And my other friend Trent was like a heavy alcoholic. By the time he was 17, he was like drinking a bottle of vodka every morning. Every day he would drink a whole fifth of Smirnoff when he was like fucking 17 years old, 18 years old. And we would buy bottles of alcohol from Khaled. Yeah, he's sober now, I think. Yeah, he's. I think he still smokes weed. I don't know if he even does anything anymore. He's more responsible now, for sure. I don't know like what kind of happened with his disease or whatever. Because when I became a really hard criminal, his mom hated me. And I went over to the house one time, and she's like, "You get this fucking meth manufacturing fucking terrorist out of my house," and screaming and freaking out. So when we were kids, this Khaled guy, he would sell us these bottles. Well, one time Trent and I followed him after the booze deal, and we found out where he was keeping his stash. So Trent's like, "Dude, let's get all of his alcohol." And he couldn't keep it in his house because there was a bunch of these bottles. So he would stash it in this gutter overlooking Aliso Viejo Middle School. It's called AVMS, where I come from. And he would put all these bottles of booze in the gutter. And then we went over there, and we had like a backpack or like a couple shopping bags, something. I think it was a backpack. And we went up there and just stole everything. And then, like, the next day, Khaled called him, and he was like, "Yo, bro, you came up on my shit." We got so drunk that night. And then Trent was like, "Oh, no, he's going to find out." And I've known this from a very young age. If you're going to do something like that, just no matter what happens, never admit that you did it. No matter what. Like, that's why it blows my mind when people do, like, false confessions to crimes. Because it's like, I could do that crime, and no matter what, just be like, no, it wasn't me. And just believe it. That's the trick. You have to believe the lie. You know? Just never admit it. And so Trent was like, oh my God, this is... He knows. He said you came off my shelf. I was like, dude, no matter what he says, just deny it. Like, no, it wasn't us. No. It just wasn't us. Could have been a gardener. I don't know. It was in the fucking gutter up on the hillside. Dude, they have landscapers and... Like, I could tell them like this. Dude, they have landscapers and gardeners who are on that hillside every morning. You think we're so dumb that we're going to burn our connection to alcohol by stealing your... Like, for what? No. No, we didn't take it. It was probably a fucking gardener, dude. Calm the fuck down, you paranoid. Like, just believe it. Easy. Yeah, Beeson with the Sturmgewehr. Yeah. Because he's mad about the Don Cheney thing in my head canon. This is my head canon. Where Beeson, like, doesn't like me. And maybe he doesn't, I'm not sure. But it's like my own, like, delusion. Like, my version of reality. Where Beeson is mad at me. And so he's shooting me with a Sturmgewehr. And then my wife was like, I don't get it. And I was like, get it because he says that Don Cheney is Zodiac. And I have a very plausible, good explanation for how Don Cheney is not Zodiac. And so he's mad at me, and so he's going to shoot me with a Sturmgewehr. And she's like, oh, okay. And I said, what do you think about this GIF? And she's like, cool. Because it's one thing to be like, oh, that's Drew Beeson, he's going to snipe me. But it's very specific. It's a Sturmgewehr. I was on crack when I made that whole gimmick up. But then now, because I had the original drawing from when I was on crack, and then I did a better one now from not being on crack, and then now it looks really fancy. So it's earned its place on the show. But I love how it has to be a Sturmgewehr. It's not like any old rifle. It's not like just Drew Beeson with a sniper rifle. It's not Drew Beeson with like an AK or like something basic. It's a Sturmgewehr. So weird. So you guys can see what goes on in my crazy head. Yeah. Who's here now? Ooh, we got a lot of people. I keep wanting to show the East Area Rappist thing to people. Is Murder Inc. still here? Murder Inc., if you're here, say something in the chat. Let me show you the East Area Rappist. Tell me what you think of it. Zap, you saw it, right? I think you guys saw it. Okay. Zap saw it, yeah. Paulie Walnuts, did you see East Area Rappist? Okay, Murder Inc. saw it. Okay. Everybody saw it. Is it offensive? Because I'm hoping that it just insults Irons. I don't know why no one thought to do that before. Rapist and Rappist is only one letter apart. It's like really an easy joke to come up with. I was like, oh yeah, what if I did like a rap song with a ski mask on? I guess because you need a ski mask to do it. Most people don't have a ski mask. It doesn't work if you don't have a ski mask. Maybe some people from like the snowy areas though have them. I'm in Southern California, so nobody here owns a ski mask. If you own a ski mask where I'm from, you're doing bad stuff or you're trolling. Those are the only alternatives. And I'm trolling, obviously. I'm not doing bad things with the ski mask. The thing is, this too identifiable of a ski mask? Where did I put it anyway? Did Joe ski? I don't know. Never seen any pictures of him skiing, so... What's this YouTube link? Are we in trouble? Land of Hunger.
Need a UGC video for your business?
The Irons.
Find me and many other skilled creators on Fiverr.
Oh yeah, they have a band called that.
is a game. Some people say they want their lives to be lived a different way.
You know what's really weird about this? About this band? It actually predates Earons. Because Earons, that's so weird. There were some crazy amounts of skiing theories back in the day on the forums before he was caught. Not surprising, you know, because he had a different ski mask every time, basically. Yeah, this is crazy because this song came out in 1984. He wasn't known as the Earons back then, so this band really predicted that. Really weird. What do you guys think of that? Is that like, that just goes to show how like things aren't as, like whenever there's a quote coincidence, people are like, oh my god, it must be something. And it's like, have you heard that there's a band called Earons that's from before that word existed? It's such a specific word. It doesn't fucking mean anything. Earons. I'd heard, because I Googled Earons and I heard of that band, but I thought that band was from like afterward, and I was like, oh, they named themselves after the East Area Rapist? That's kind of crazy. And I didn't even know that they were from 1984. Isn't that weird? What's the explanation for that? A bunch of guys in space helmet masks that call themselves the Earons? That's so weird. It just goes to show how radiation is like such a thing in true crime. Just one more fucking example of it. This ski mask is really identifiable because it has a big white banner on it. I used to say, yo soy un prowler, and then it came off in the washing machine. You can kind of see it in there, but whatever. Up on the shelf with the knife and gloves that I have. Fuck. Yeah, we really played this stream. I'm surprised we made it an hour so far. I thought I was gonna like be out of material. There's gonna be a new NUKE HOAX live sign. This is a placeholder that I put together, and the board is brand new. I just got it from outside. I was prowling. I found it. I actually tied it on with pre-tied shoelaces too. There's pre-tied shoelaces on here and pre-tied shoelaces holding it up. So, you know. I guess that's it. You know, what else do we have to do? Oh, yeah, watch Pluribus. Duh, I gotta go watch the third episode. What's it like, Zap? Is it getting better? The first two episodes, it was cool, but it's kind of like, okay, how are they gonna stretch this one out for an entire series? You know? Like, we get it. Everybody's the same guy. What's happening on that, Zap? Without doing too much of a spoiler, how are they going to make this last? Like, yeah, cool, everybody's the same guy. We get it. Peace on Earth. You know what's cool is there's no more unidentified offender because we'd all know who Zodiac was. Wouldn't that be cool? Those aliens would be doing us a great service because we would know who Zodiac is if we were all the same guy. We'd all know who Zodiac is, and Zodiac would know who all of us are at the same time. I don't know about the premise of that show. It's a little unrealistic, don't you think? Like, what is that? Okay, so we all get, like, a DNA thing, and then now everyone is, like, linked. Like, what? I don't know about that. It's kind of a weird concept. But Zap is done responding, I guess. Hold on, let me go urinate again, because that happens a lot on this show. Stand by. This is what I think is the biggest mystery in the entire case of Iran's. Why didn't Joseph D'Angelo leave America? I can't make sense of that, because he must have known the walls were closing in. Does anyone have any hypothesis on why the fuck he didn't leave the United States? He must have known it was closing. It's not like Paul, like, guys, we have this narrative where, like, Paul Holes' idea to, like, submit his DNA to GEDmatch was like no one had ever thought of that before. That's not true. I've been through the whole pro boards. People were talking about that for years. That narrative is such bullshit. I don't like when they do stuff like that. When they just, like, take credit for shit they didn't do. It's like when if I released an album and someone was just like, "That's my album," it's like, you didn't make this. And then all the documentaries were like, "Yes, it is his songs." Like, that's what Paul Holes is doing. I don't like that. Like, you didn't come up with that fucking idea. It's been on the pro board since before you were even, since when you were obsessing about the punishment map. Dude, Paul Holes was obsessing about the construction angle, and everyone was like, "Why don't you submit his DNA to GEDmatch?" And then people were like, "Yes, but that has privacy issues," and so they didn't do it. And then Paul Holes came along and he's like, "Yes, I invented this." It's like, no, you didn't. It's such a dumb story. Paul Holes, this is where his Paul Holes' credibility for me was like this. It was like, wow, he's so cool. Da-na-na-na-na. And then I found out all the shit that he was up to, and it was like, pew. I was like, oh, jeez, Paul Holes isn't even good either. I mean, yeah, thanks for catching neurons. Obviously, it's major. It's good achievement and everything. But it's not like you came up with that idea, because you didn't. I have pro boards post that proves that you didn't come up with that idea. What a stupid fucking claim. They did it on FBI True today. I was watching it and they were like, and then investigator Paul Holes came along and he had this idea. No, he didn't. He probably read about it on pro boards because it was on there already. Everybody had already come up with that idea. I can prove it. Look, let's try it. Let's try this, guys. We're going to go Iran's GSK pro boards. Whoa. .proboards.com. And who messaged me? Oh. Okay. Alright. Oh, I want to... Hey, everybody, I said that Jen Carroll was doing sneaky stuff online. I want to immediately make my amends. Jen Carroll did not say sneaky stuff online. Jen Carroll is cool. And, yeah, didn't say anything sneaky. So, guys... This is my public-facing apology and amends to Jen Carroll. She never did anything sneaky that I've seen so far. All right. So that's out of the way. I'll put her on my 8th step for Alcoholics Anonymous, and then we're going to do. Let's see. There we go. With at least one of the words, GEDmatch. Let me prove to you guys that Paul Holes is full of shit. All right. Here we go. We have to go back in time. Let's go to the earliest known example. Here we go. Let's go back in time. Here we go. So Iron Maiden's 666. Let me put this on the screen so that you guys can see it, so that my proof can stand. The true hero of Iran's case, I guess, is this guy right here. Iron Maidens, 666. Let's look at him. He says, can anyone tell me what progress... Oh, by the way, he says this November 4th, 2013. So almost 5 years before Paul Holes came along with this idea, allegedly. Can anyone tell me what progress is being made in finding his family tree and if they have any hits yet? And if so... who does it share similarities with? Maybe someone will sign up for GEDmatch. Okay. December 7th, 2015. Jacob Scalpel says... Whoops. Oh, shit. Jacob Scalpel says, I feel the exact opposite. Many individuals, myself included, waived their privacy concerns for the greater good genetic sequencing and large databases would provide. We are doing that freely at sites like GEDmatch. If 23andMe requested facial photos for analysis, I would submit mine without hesitation. On top of that, we've experienced massive reductions in time and cost for full sequencing. There's no, you are underestimating the statistical knowledge of big data people. I know a few personally and work with them. They are not ignorant of statistical fundamentals. Okay? So he's at least got those those concepts in there at the same time. So let's keep going. So this is from April 2018. So technically they had already done this, so we can't include that, but let's keep moving forward. Let's go with Ancestry. Watch this. Instead of just because GEDmatch is very specific. Like, Iron Maiden is brilliant for that. He's actually the one who did it. Okay, put that. So you can see the number of posts here that's going on. Okay. So the idea of submitting, this idea has been around for a long time. Okay. DNA Ancestry. So they've been talking about this for a while. But especially Iron Maiden. Look up Play an M. Yeah. Yeah, we saw that. You showed me that. Of course he did, yeah. Yeah, Paul Holes totally was super involved. Wasn't the first genealogy DNA match done in the double aughts, which solved a case? It was done for the women or something in the barrel case. Was this people, the Barbara Ray Venter, I think, was the first time that they identified with. And that could be wrong. I don't know for sure. What I do know for sure is that Paul Holes did not just come out of left field with that idea. It was totally there. It was floating around. People talked about it. And that's just the Pro Boards. There's probably other places that said it too. But I've seen, like, I just showed you those posts. Paul Holes is full of shit. He didn't come up with anything. Paul Holes didn't come up with anything at all, ever. Nothing. I thought there was a UK case, which was the first ever in the world. Maybe? I think UK was the one who first used DNA for criminal prosecution also, at least. In, like, 1986 or 7. Guys, Paul Holes didn't come up with anything. Now, it's good that he was in a position to upload the DNA there, but he didn't come up with the idea. The idea came up with Iron Maidens, was the guy who came up with that. So far. So that's 5 years earlier. The idea was being floated around. So where's Paul Holes and fit into that? And Paul Holes, he says some crazy shit on the internet. Why was he so sure the Visalia Ransacker was totally EAR, guys? You say that with hindsight. It's like, yeah, but... Because the main counter-argument, the primary counter-argument against the Visalia Ransacker being the EAR was a faulty description of the Visalia Ransacker. It was a different guy that was being described. So they're like, yes, but he was fat and pudgy as the Visalia. No, he wasn't. He wasn't. Let's see your post on the forum saying that before he was caught. Yeah, but, no, I don't have them. But, and I'm not the first. Whoa, gee whiz, guys. You see that? Fucking ghosts. But, no, if I had known that, it's too, and I'm not the only person. There were people saying that he was the Visalia Ransacker. I would have thought it. If I had known Arthur Lee Allen, yeah, I know, huh? That's the effect of Drew Beeson's Sturmgewehr fire, took down all the guitars. If I had known that the best evidence, give us a sign if you can hear us. If I had known that the best evidence against the VR being the EAR was that the VR was stocky or fat or whatever, but that description isn't even the VR, then I would have been like, oh, there's nothing against it. And remember what Beth Snelling said, guys. Beth Snelling said that the person that tried to abduct her spoke through in a harsh whisper through clenched teeth in a ski mask. How many? And he uses dishes as an alarm system. Like, this is just everybody does that. It's ridiculous. Never left. Come on. Anyway, it's totally the same guy. That wasn't that controversial of an opinion. But why did Paul Holes think he wasn't the Visalia ransacker? Because he says the Visalia ransacker was a fat guy. Well, that's not true. The witness descriptions of the Visalia ransacker are the same descriptions as the EAR. Same. 180 pounds, whatever, at most. And yeah, a little stockier, but not much. He stopped eating a little more junk food. Less junk food Joey. He's like 180 pounds, 5'10", white male that speaks through clenched teeth and a harsh whisper in a ski mask. Like, it's totally the same guy. And he jumps fences and he shoots out. I mean, come on, All of it was there for people to know. And Paul Holes was like, yes, but the Visalia ransacker was fat. No, he wasn't. Linkage blindness is the problem in every unsolved serial killer case. Ripper and Thames Torso equals same serial killer. Mad Butcher and Murder Swamp, same serial killer. Lisk and Manorville Butcher, same serial killer. Ooh, I want to hear about Manorville. Yeah, I agree. In the sense that, like, linkage blindness is doing damage. And it's like these people that come out and they say, like, we're sure of this. And it's like, no the fuck you're not. You just claim that you are. You're no better than fucking any of these fucking like, true crime sleuths. Detectives aren't that far off from true crime sleuths. The only difference between a true crime sleuth and a detective is that the detective has access to the whole back. True. That's a problem, too. Linkage blindness and linkage eagle eye, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like, connectomania. Let's call it connectomania. Linkage blindness and connectomania are both problems, but they're just manifestations of the same disorder on opposite ends of the spectrum. Linkage blindness is the same mental disorder as connectomania. It's the same disease. It's like one opposite extreme end of the spectrum, and the root cause wrong. Oh, come on, it's not. Come on, I don't think so. But that's what we do here. It's fine, and I like that you have, when you rule out, you lose clues. I'm not even saying rule out, but also don't be like sure of it, because then you also are you're in a position of that cognitive dissonance where anything that suggests against it, you're also going to be like, no, that's not true because it suggests against my theory. But like the cause of that disease, whether it's linkage blindness or connectomania, is that it's this confidence, like this false confidence of like, we're sure that this is the case. We know this. When maybe you don't know something. And so then it manifests in whichever direction you're taking it. It's this certainty principle. Okay, so we're going to invent a whole bunch of new stuff here, guys, today. The certainty principle is the root cause of the disease of connectoism. And connectoism manifests as either linkage blindness or connectomania. Okay? We're going to write some of this stuff down. Right? Connectoism is like a disease where you either disconnect or connect offenders with a level of confidence that is unreasonable. Now, connecting, shit, I don't know, man. And it's up to everyone to decide, is this a manifestation of connectoism, or is this person actually onto something? And I think that a measure of whether or not you are in connectoism is the strength of your evidence, the strength of your tie. But yeah, connectomania is just as real as linkage blindness. They're both huge problems in true crime. And then you say you rule out, you lose clues. What if Manorville butcher was 2 women's torsos found in the woods on Long Island? Years later, body parts found on Gilgo Beach with them all dumped along the same highway. Cops said it was 3 different serial killers. Yeah. Probably the same guy. What's the most recent case you have followed? Charlie Kirk. I agree. I'm not saying linkage blindness is good. Like, we shouldn't, think Gilgo might be more than one. Could be. But the problem is, like, when you have a same geographic area, it's like the people that say that that David Berkowitz didn't shoot Wendy Savino. Manorville spot, linkage blind, not connected. If you're found in the same area and your torso is in a trash bag and you have no limbs, to me, that's the same offender. Gilgo is all connected now. Yeah. Is it impossible 2 different serial killers would pick the same dumping ground? Maybe not, but the problem is when it's like the same method. Because remember, guys, serial killers are pretty rare. Like, most people, I know that because we're in true crime that we think there's like serial killers everywhere and that like all our friends are serial killers. But it's super rare that someone goes around doing this shit. And then so now, like, let's narrow that down to the population of actual serial killers. Then you've eliminated a large portion of the population. It's like very small number of people are serial killers. How many of those people then kill in the same area or dump in the same area? Now the number gets even smaller. How many of those people that all are serial killers who all dump in the same area, who all put people in trash bags and cut their arms and legs off? It's a very small number. And then when you start seeing the specifics, then it's like, yeah, there's probably only one guy doing that. When 11 bodies are wrapped up and dumped in the same spot, it's obviously all connected. People were so stupid. Yeah, I agree with that. But just because that happened in that case doesn't mean that we should connectomania all other cases. So it's like, I think you might be looking at people lying. Like, they lie with neurons. Like, they're like, no, he's not a cop. It's like, yeah, he is. It's obvious he is. Tribuco was really onto something. If I had been... Now, I don't think if I were researching neurons before he was caught that I would be like, yes, it's for sure he's a cop. But I would consider that a very, very realistic possibility that he was a police officer. Because of the totality of the clues. The way he holds a flashlight, the way he says freeze, the way he fucking, certain things. Like the McGowan stakeout, that he didn't know that they were staking the house out because they kept it off the radios kind of thing. Like, all these things, like... It's the totality of these clues. But look at the rarity of a serial killer operating in an area. How many guys in Gilgo Beach area are serial killers? And then of all those serial killers, I thought he was before he was caught because of the police dispatch thing. Yeah. A lot of people think that. And it's not like a victim thought he might have been using... It's not an unreasonable opinion. Look at Tribuco. Tribuco had a thread on the pro boards called Was the EAR a Cop? And it's a very good thread, and it's very visionary, and it all turned out to be accurate. And he was correct. And Tribuco was positive. Tribuco was one of the people who was like, yeah, this guy's a cop. You can't change my mind. Basically. But Tribuco was considering other possibilities. He wasn't like Yeah, one of the GOAT threads. I totally agree. Totally agree. The brazen criminality was to give away he was a cop. Yeah. Like, how many serial killers are operating in Gilgo Beach? Let's say, for fun, that maybe there's 5 serial killers in Gilgo Beach, which is not likely. Yeah, he was like that. He was open to other things. Let's say there's 5 serial killers in Gilgo Beach, which I doubt. Of those 5, how many of them are all going to chop their victims up and put them in trash bags? more than one operates like that, what about all the other possibilities? Like leaving bodies behind, like putting them in the ocean, like Dexter does, or grinding them up in your garbage disposal, or whatever else you can do. John Wayne Gacy buried people under his house. Like, there's all these other methodologies. Modus operandi. That's why I think it's like I talk about people like modus operandi is kind of specific, guys. Right? Like, okay, as a drug criminal, this was my modus operandi. I used wallofcoins.com. This is before they had Bitcoin ATMs over. I used wallofcoins.com. I would take a cash deposit to a bank and deposit that money into an account number, and then I would get Bitcoin sent to a Coinbase wallet or a wallet that was not on the markets. Then I would transfer from Coinbase to an intermediary wallet so that Coinbase didn't know I was using the darknet. And then I would use that intermediary to transfer to Alphabay. Then I would order from Alphabay, send that package either to my house or to a drop house or to a UPS store. It never changed. Those are the three possibilities that it could be. It was my house, drop. I never used drop houses that were out of my control. Like, some people ordered to drop houses that were like vacant houses. I didn't do that because I felt I didn't have control over the address and the control of the drop. So I sent it to my house, my friend's house, or a UPS store box. Then I would call my resellers like Doobie Snacks and Gage or whatever, and I would say the Eagle has landed, and then they would come and they would buy either the whole package or most of it. Like, each person would get like a half or whatever. And then I would just take their cash, rinse and repeat. Okay? Same thing. That was my modus operandi. That system was built by a little bit of trial and error, but I was fortunate between like having good insight into how to do stuff and then like talking to people online of like that MO developed pretty quickly. And that's how I would do it now. If I were still doing that, that's how I would do it. Except now I would probably use a Bitcoin ATM because it's easier. That was the problem. Some were dismembered, some not. That's why police said, no, serial killer, don't change MO, proven wrong. Same problem with Ripper and Thames, even though victims are only days apart and cut very similarly, very MO by the hour. Yeah, but you gotta remember, like I'm telling you, like if I were to sell drugs tomorrow, I would do it the same way that I did it in 2017. I wouldn't change much. I wouldn't all of a sudden start shipping it to empty houses because I don't trust that. I would send it to my house, a UPS store box, or a friend's house. That's an element of my modus operandi that I don't change because it works. So, I actually never got caught importing drugs. I got caught from taking a meth lab to the Guitar Center. Yeah, right, Zap. I don't sell drugs anymore. But you can change if you want, and if you did it differently, it's still you. That's correct, but why would I change? Because it worked. It's tried and tested. I never got caught doing that. Never once. There were some times I wondered if a package had been intercepted. I got caught from taking a meth lab to the Guitar Center. That's what got me caught. But as far as like importing drugs on the internet, never got caught. So, well, here's the thing. When you make good money, when you're a heavy drug addict whose life is completely unmanageable and everybody, like, it's just easy come, easy go. I didn't have any. I lost a lot of money when Alphabay went down. Yeah, that's where I got it from. Alphabay. It was a darknet market. Alphabay, Dream Market, Crypto Market were my main thing. And I lost a lot of money when Alphabay went down. Which, that money now, today, I can't remember. Like, I did the math, and I figured it out. It's a decent chunk of money, But that would, like, aside from that, when your life is totally unmanageable because you just smoke meth all day and run around and spend money on stupid shit, like, recording studio and, like, hotel rooms and, like, paying for other people's drugs and other problems that were going on. I don't know. Probably, yeah. Yeah, I think so. Oh, more than 10,000 on Alphabay? If today, yeah. If the money were, like, if you adjusted for the change of Bitcoin value today, it would be, like, way more than that. But at the time, it wasn't. At the time, it was, like, $1,000 or something. So. But I'm happy I don't have that money anymore. Yeah, it's okay. I don't want to live off blood money anyway. And Xanax is a horrible drug, by the way. So it took a lot of spiritual redemption for me to be able to live past that. I don't have it anymore. It's gone now. You know, all that money's gone. Got seized by the FBI when they took Alphabet down, and then I also got robbed at the same time. So there were a couple things that happened all simultaneous. If you listen to K-Pac Pioneers, I got Alphabet went down, the FBI seized it. I got robbed for like $900 in Xanax in real life, and then I also canceled some of the because there were packages that were inbound through the mail system when I was arrested for the meth lab. So I came home and I had to like abort those transactions, and then the money was in the process of coming back to me from those vendors when Alphabet shut down. So I lost money from that, from the robbery, and from the escrow wallet, or from like the vendor wallet, whatever. Because there's money like in escrow, like some of the money was in escrow because it was with other vendors, and then some of the money was in the vendor wallet, and that kind of thing. And it all happened at once, all at the same time. It was hilarious, and I deserved that for doing that stuff because it was bad stuff. So, you know, it takes a lot. You have to go to God and be like, hey, look, here's what I did. You know. Read Chosen One MO. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't change my modus operandi. It worked really well. That's another thing. If your MO is working, why change it? I need God in my life. That if you mean that, then that's like really exciting to see you say something like that. Because you have God right here. Freely available to you at all times. All times. Anyone in any circumstance at any time can reach out and be like, I need a... And if they believe it, I think is kind of how it works. I don't know for sure, though. I'm not the creator of all things, but the ocean didn't just come from nowhere. That's retarded. Like, the idea that, like, the ocean just happened from nothing and nowhere. It's like, are you people retarded? Like, Stephen Hawking, like, are you retarded? People are like, yes, but he's so smart. It's like, dude, he thinks the ocean came from nowhere. That's retarded. That's stupid. Doesn't happen. I don't care, like, what anyone says. Where did the ocean come from? Oh, it came from nothing. It's like, what? And these people, and then in the same breath, they're like, energy can never be created or destroyed. So where did it come from? They're like, oh, that's stupid. If energy can never be created, then where the fuck did the ocean come from? It was just always there. Okay. The ocean was not always there. We can carbon date it. Or whatever the fuck. Like, we know when the Earth didn't have an ocean. And then where did the Earth come from? And they're like, oh. It's just stupid. I don't understand. You think dinosaurs are real? I don't know. I mean, they have I mean, I've never dug up a dinosaur fossil. But maybe. I don't know. I think probably real. I don't think they looked like what we think they look like, though. I think they were birds' relatives. So they probably looked like birds and chickens and stuff. Like, here's a crazy thought, right? You know this, like, look at their bones. And they're like, look at a T-Rex. Like, they might have had, like, big-ass wings, or their whole texture might look different than what we thought. Yeah, not like Jurassic Park at all. Because dinosaur originally means, like, god lizard or something. Because they just thought that they were lizards for some reason. They found the big bones and they were like, yeah, these are lizards. Which is hilarious. But look at, like, a Spinosaurus, okay? And they have, like, that thing on their back. Like a sail. Yeah, they thought like dragons. Because they were... Yeah, they just didn't know. They thought, like, look at the sail on the back. Like, that could just be a giant, like, I don't even know what. Who knows what the fuck those are. But yeah, I'm not gonna come forth and be like, yeah, evolution's, like, so fake. The Earth is 6,000 years old. Like, the Earth doesn't actually need to be 6,000 years old for there to still be a creator of the Earth. That's not... Those two things are not mutually exclusive. That's why people are like, I believe in God. The Earth is 6,000 years old. It's like, well, it's not. We can prove that it's not. So... But that doesn't disprove God. That's retarded. It's got nothing to do with it. The fact, like, where did the ocean come from? Oh, the Big Bang. Where did the Big Bang come from? Oh, well, nothing. Okay, sure. That's retarded, actually. Richard Feynman is fucking retarded. I think. Is that the guy? Or is it Chris? No, Christopher Hitchens is fucking retarded. He's the dumbest person ever. He's so dumb. And he thinks that he has like a sissy British accent that makes him smart. You're not smart. If you think that the ocean came from nothing, you're not smart. That's it. All there is to it. The ocean doesn't come from nothing. That's retarded. Okay? So I don't like that these guys are like, yes, I'm an atheist because I live in a cloudy place with no sunshine and I'm fucking depressed all the time, so therefore there can't be a God. It's like, you need to get sunlight. That's your problem. If you get some sunlight, you'll be happier, and then you'll be like, oh, maybe there's a God. But because you live in a cloudy shithole that sucks, then you think there's no God. Well, just move to the... That's a good accent. Yeah, I can do kind of a Manchester one. And that. If I want to. Because I listened to a lot of Carl Pilkington. Years ago now. Are you British? Well, it's not your fault you live in a hellhole. If you get some sunlight, you'll be like, oh, there's God. Because you'll be happier. People live in England and it's cloudy all the fucking time. No wonder why they're so miserable. Yeah, Carl Pilkington. I used to say Ann Hospital because of him on accident. She's in an hospital. Carl! You're a fucking maniac, Carl. Have you ever listened to Rockbusters? It's so funny. And Carl will come up with like a new band thing. He's like a Jamaican fella. Oh, you're from Scotland. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, do you believe... Because, dude, the ocean doesn't come from nowhere. That's a fact. What created it? I don't know. That's up for your interpretation. God can look like anything to you, I guess. I don't know what he looks like. Or it looks like. Or they look like. Or she looks like. I don't fucking know. All I know is the ocean didn't come from nothing. That's retarded. So. And then, of course, like other things like that I've experienced, you know. It's dumb. Why is a rock not conscious? That's a weird concept. That's probably erroneous for me to say that. I'm just like these stupid fucking British people, dude. But there's British people who believe in God. Maybe they live in areas with more sunlight. I don't know. I think I heard my wife text me. Let me see. Stand by. Do I think we evolved from apes? Well, apes are still here, but that's not because we didn't evolve from... Like, there's a common ancestor situation. Evolution is real. Yeah, we've been married a year in December 17th. And it's been great, and it's getting better. Evolution is real because it makes perfect fucking sense. Like, if you... Things happen. I know, it's really great. I love being married. It's the coolest fucking thing ever. So, my dad was so wrong when he told me to never get married. He's so fucking smoked out. But my dad's super negative. He's like the most negative guy ever. And he's like really always just like so cynical. He's like, humanity's fucked. This earth is going to hell. It's like, no, it's not. At all. It's not. Earth is badass, and people are fucking on. Like, we got it figured out. There's less violence today than there was in the 1400s. In the 1400s, everybody died of dysentery and, like, cut their neighbor's arms off. We don't do that shit anymore. It's getting better. It's never going to be perfect. Yeah. Yeah, he's like, oh, man, bringing kids into this world today is, like, so terrible. I feel so sorry for them. It's like, what are you talking about? They can, like, do cool shit, like jump out of airplanes and, like, with a parachute, like DB Cooper, and, like, do badass shit, like, figure stuff out and shoot cool firearms and, like, blow stuff up and, like, do awesome stuff, like, create awesome art and make music. Yeah, it's totally the best time. I totally agree. People are like, man, it was so much better in the 1980s. It's like, what, watching VHS tapes and fucking sitting through commercials and you can't talk to anyone for, like, a year if they go to the next town? That's retarded. I'm so happy that I live today where we can do live streams on YouTube. Like, look at this. Look how fucking cool this is. Like, and there are people like, oh yeah, the 70s, it was such a good time. It's like, if I wanted to make an album, I had to gig for like 3 years, hopefully get picked up by a record deal, then go rent studio space for like $47,000 per minute, and then make a vinyl record and then sell like... No, dude, I just made 2 albums in the last 2 years. And nobody knows who the fuck I am. I'm just happy the records exist. Most of the time, like, me making music was... In my beginning, when I started making albums, it was so I could have a record and go outside and get high on marijuana and listen to it. That was the plan. That's what I wanted. I just want to have my own albums like Joy Division has. Because I thought they were really cool because they have albums. You know. But back then, no, I don't want to live in the fucking 1970s. That's gay. Fuck that. And you could, like, get, like, serial killers would, like, come along and, like, stab you to death and then never get caught because they didn't know what DNA was. Like, no, I'm good. I'd rather live in 2025. Thanks. Thanks for the offer. Hold on. Whoops. Sorry, everyone. Had a connection drop for some bizarre reason that no one understands. Yeah, it was, like, shitty back then. Why the fuck would you want to live back then? Oh, in order to find out that something happens, I have to wait for the newspaper to come out and then fucking read it, and then I can't talk to anyone about it except, like, 3 people. So dumb. I'm good on that, thanks. Fuck the 1970s. They were fucking gay. So anyway, okay, so evolution. Evolution makes sense. Yeah, 2025 for all full steam ahead. Fuck yeah, modern technology. I love computers. I love the internet. Get some. People are like, social media is so bad. It's so toxic. It's like, no, you're toxic. You want to know what's on my newsfeed? Cats. And, like, funny, interesting stuff. That's my whole newsfeed. You know why? Because when all this Epstein Island bullshit started happening and everyone was, like, obsessed with pedophiles for some creepy fucking reason, I would see stuff happen on my newsfeed, and I would go, hide this. Don't show this. Show me less content. And I would do this religiously. And after about a week, it's all just cats and interesting historical facts. I have a great newsfeed. There's nothing toxic on my social media. At all. Not even close. It's so... Oh, Facebook is bad for me. It's like, no, your outlook sucks balls. And you don't know how to tailor your newsfeed. Like, I have this one friend, he's like, social media is so bad. Oh, no. It's like, I have a radio show that's free. You're just wrong. You're wrong. I have a radio show, and it has Drew Beeson shooting a Sturmgewehr, Joseph D'Angelo being scared of DNA, and a spinning ball over here, and then a logo, a command module, the moon, and a badass thing here. And we make cool videos like the East Area Rappist. Social media is gangster as fuck. It's you that's the problem. Okay. So, oh yeah, so evolution. Evolution makes perfect sense. To me. Like, if every time you go to, like, scratch your neck, you accidentally rip off your carotid artery and die, you're not going to live long enough to procreate. And so then you just go extinct. But they're like, it's like people don't, I don't even know what the fuck, dude. I'm not the kind of person who's like I totally believe in God, creator of all things, whatever the fuck. But if it's not in the Bible, that doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't happen. Like, there's no computers in the Bible. Are there? Is NUKE HOAX 2025 in the Bible? No. Therefore, it's fake? Like, that's just stupid. It's okay to not know everything. And they're like, yeah, but so it's like God wrote it. It's like, but people wrote it. Who were, maybe they were divinely inspired. I believe the AA book was divinely inspired too. It doesn't mean God wrote the AA book. It just means that God gave these people certain knowledge, wisdom, and insight. Because obviously you need God to even, like, you know. Like, God had to exist for me to make that picture of Drew Beeson. Otherwise, I would just be a dead body. Otherwise, I would just not have the ability to speak English. Because I would be, you know, Christopher Hitchens. Who's retarded. You know. And I wouldn't be able to make GIFs. So, thanks to God's amazing will, I woke up this morning competent and able to make GIFs, and now Drew Beeson's on there. So, Drew Beeson GIF with the Stern Bear is divinely inspired. But that doesn't mean that God made that. Well, God did make that. Like, God wrote the Bible, sure. But people wrote the Bible. It's the same thing, I think. Those people wouldn't even be alive. They would just be dead. They would just be Christopher Hitchens, who can't even talk. And then Stephen Hawking's like this. He's like, he's the smartest guy in the world. That's stupid. He's not. Never was, never will be. He said there is no God. He told a room full of children there is no God. It's like, yeah, that's what you think, because you're fucking an invalid. And yeah, maybe that's like bad karma for me to say that about someone like that, but also at the same time, like, you're spreading like hopelessness to children. Like, go fuck yourself, honestly. I don't like him for that. 4-step. He's going on my resentments. They don't ever go to a room full of kids and tell them there's no God. Fuck you. Where'd the ocean come from? That's retarded. Oh, the Big Bang Theory. Where'd the Big Bang come from? Oh, don't ask that question. Fuck. Where'd the Big Bang come from? It just happened. Now they have this new thing where they're like, it's quantum vacuum fluctuations. It's like, where'd the quantum vacuum come from? They're like, oh! So stupid. God's common sense. The creator is common fucking sense. It has to come. This guitar was created by a person who made it. You can't even get a table without someone building it. Where the fuck did the ocean come from? They're like, oh God. Yeah, probably. Because I used to be a flat earther. You remember that, guys, when I was a flat earther? And then my friend Jaron went to Antarctica in late 2024. And he saw the 24-hour sun, and he told me, oh, the Earth's not flat. And I believe him. And so, yeah. I'm a fucking ball earther now. And, I don't fucking know, man. The problem that I have with nuclear bombs is like, if there's a nuclear bomb, you can't destroy the world with it. Definitely not. Only God can destroy the world. People can't. Look how big the world is. Like, you're going to set off a bomb that's so big, it, like, destroys everything. Like, that's not real. And then how come, like, why is wildlife thriving in Chernobyl? Why are people in Fukushima totally fine? Why are people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki totally fine? I don't know about that shit. They're like, yeah, but look at these mutated kids. It's like, that's because you gave them fucking DEET or whatever. What's it called? That stuff they were DZT or something, whatever the fuck. Because you were shooting them up with mercuric poisons. And you're like, look how retarded he looks. It must be from the nuclear bomb. It's like, no, that's because you put mercury in his blood when he was a baby. So. I don't know what's real and what's not. But if there's a nuclear bomb, then fucking use it. Otherwise, I don't believe you. Like, how come people in Nevada are totally fine? They had the Nevada test range where they sent off like 1,000 nuclear bombs. Las Vegas, totally fine. No fucking retarded three-toed babies there. So I'm just not buying it. You can build a bomb, yeah. But can you, like, alter people's genetic code with, like, heavy metals? I don't think so. I don't know. Who fucking knows? But why is Nevada fine? Because they were doing all kinds of nuclear bombings there. It is the official position of this record label. So. It's just one more, like, arrogant, like, pissing contest of people like, we can blow the whole Earth off the map. Can you, though? Or do you have delusions of grandeur? And they're like, oh, how dare you? We'll nuke you. It's like, do it, bitch. Fucking dare you. They're like, oh. Like, literally, Kim Jong-un. If you see this stream, hit the button, you fucking sissy. I dare you. He won't do it. He won't do it. They're never going to do it. They're like, yeah, but we have nuclear bombs. We can blow up the whole Earth. It's like, do it then. Oh. I would call their bluff, honestly. I call Kim Jong-un's bluff right now. Press the red button, you little bitch. You won't. You won't do it. And then every time that, like, something happens, they're like, oh, it's all thanks to one brave Russian who held out just long enough to not launch all the nukes. It's like, maybe because he doesn't actually even have any. And he's just lying. But he has a nuclear submarine. Then show me. Make something uninhabitable with radiation. Like Bikini Atoll or whatever, where you like supposedly can never go again. You could totally go there. It's fine, I bet. I bet it's fine. Because Nevada's fine. Why is there no fucking nuclear fallout in Nevada? They said how many bombs were detonated at the Nevada test range? Let's look it up. How many nukes were detonated in Nevada? There we go, in Nevada. A total of 1,021 nuclear bombs were detonated in Nevada between 1951 and 1992, with 928 official tests involving 921 underground and 100 atmospheric detonations. Some of the underground detonation tests included multiple simultaneous detonations, which accounted for the difference in the final time. Then why is there no fucking poisoning shit over there? Why is everybody in Nevada fine? So you can drop it's like how, I like how nuclear fallout is like so selective. It'd be like 1,000 nukes went off in Nevada, everything's fine. But watch out, because nuclear fallout will get you, but not Nevada. It's fine in Nevada. So yeah, I think that's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's not a true story. It's a power thing. It's like if you don't like our government, well, watch out, because we'll press the red button and everyone dies. It's like a kid who like is having a tantrum. He's like, I can fucking, if I press this red button, you all die. It's like, do it. I dare you. And they're like, oh. I fucking dare Kim Jong-un to press his fucking gay-ass red button. Seriously. He can't. The best he could do is bomb American cities. But he's not going to make a nuclear fallout that, like, and even that wouldn't work. Would just like, have you seen this fucking stupid movie House of Dynamite on Netflix right now? And it's made by the same person who did Zero Dark 30, and whoever is controlling the camera can't stop zooming in on stuff like a little bit. Every time, it's some of the dumbest. It's so fucking dumb. Look, I'm Zero Dark 30. That's what they do. Watch House of Dynamite. It's on Netflix right now, but it's the worst ending of any movie ever. It's the biggest letdown of all time. Anyway, so this is the director of Zero Dark 30. They're always doing like a zoom in. It's so dumb. Like, once you see it, you can never unsee it. You're like, oh god, they're zooming in constantly. And it's only like a little bit too. It's like this. It's terrible camera work. I know, it's really annoying. I agree. Yeah, don't watch that movie. It's a dumbass movie. It's fucking total propaganda bullshit. You cannot destroy the entire Earth. If they could, they would, guys. These people, some of them are fucking really malicious. So you mean to tell me no suicidal person has ever had control of the nuclear arsenal ever one time in the history of mankind? And that you can nuke Nevada 1,000 times and Las Vegas is totally fine? I've never watched it. There's problems in the nuclear narrative. But it makes sense. You gotta scare people sometimes because they're fucking stupid. The Antifa's like really stupid. You have to scare them. They can't be trusted. The ruling class really isn't that different than the people. They wear a suit, they carry a little piece of metal. That's the thing. So they have to have something that like makes everyone scared of them. It's like nuclear bombs. That's the trick. That'll do it. Did I break a string? Oh no, it just came unhooked. Okay. Somehow. Yeah, I don't know about all that nuclear shit. Do I like Elon Musk? I used to not like Elon Musk, and then I saw what he was doing with freedom of speech, and now I like him. You know? Because the cool thing with Elon Musk is you can do anything on his websites, and you never get banned. Thank God. Everybody else is a fucking wuss. Like Facebook's, like if you say, oh crud, they're like, you're banned! Or if you like don't refer to someone as like fucking thems, you get like banned. It's fucking stupid. I've been banned from every website on the internet. You know, I like freedom of speech. No. I should though. Because I just like that you can say anything with him. Every other, like, look at Facebook. You have to, like, constantly walk around on eggshells. You're like, oh, God, what if they... I got banned on here for what? What got me banned on YouTube? And there's fail-safes now, you fuckers. My record is on other channels now that you can't shut down. And then there's this one, and yeah. Even, look at my email, NUKE HOAX ban evasion. Take that. But it's like so crazy. They're so ban happy on every fucking website because the society's too sensitive, man. People say crazy shit about me all the time. I don't fucking care. You know. Anyway, this stream is getting so crazy. I have to urinate again. Okay.